Some CEOs become billionaires through genuine innovation, but others, they reach the top using manipulation, deception, and carefully engineered narratives. Today, we're exposing 18 CEOs who lied their way to billion-dollar empires. Let's begin. Elizabeth Holmes. Our technology works. Theranos promised a medical miracle, a device that could run hundreds of tests using a single drop of blood. Elizabeth Holmes became Silicon Valley's golden child. Black turtleneck, stoic voice, visionary confidence. Behind the carefully crafted image, the technology never worked. Executives ran fake demos for investors. Tests were secretly performed on traditional third-party machines. Results came back inaccurate, even dangerous, affecting real patients making real medical decisions. Doctors were misled. Patients received false diagnoses. Investors poured in over $700 million based on technology that was fundamentally broken. Holmes didn't build a medical revolution. She built a lie so convincing that generals, billionaires, and world leaders all believed it. Theranos eventually collapsed and Holmes went to prison. But the message was clear. Sometimes the illusion of innovation is more profitable than actual innovation. Adam Neumann. We're not a real estate company. Adam Neumann insisted WeWork wasn't just shared office space. He called it a tech company, a global movement, a way to elevate consciousness. Investors loved the vision and poured in billions. But strip away the marketing, and the business model was simple. Rent buildings, subdivide them, lease at a markup. Basic real estate arbitrage, nothing revolutionary. But renting desks doesn't get a $47 billion valuation. Calling it a consciousness-elevating tech platform does. When IPO filings exposed massive losses, sketchy internal deals, and conflicts of interest, the bubble burst spectacularly. WeWork nearly collapsed, yet Neumann walked away with over $1 billion in exit packages. Because in Silicon Valley, the most profitable skill isn't building products. It's telling stories investors want to believe. Mark Zuckerberg. We're protecting your data. Mark Zuckerberg repeatedly promised users, your privacy matters, your data is safe. But investigation after investigation revealed the opposite. Cambridge Analytica harvested data from 87 million users to manipulate elections. Secret agreements gave phone manufacturers deep access to user information. Facebook built shadow profiles of people who never even signed up. Meta didn't protect data. Meta monetized it at unprecedented scale. Zuckerberg apologized, repeatedly before Congress, in blog posts, in carefully staged videos. But apologies didn't stop growth. Facebook didn't shrink. It evolved into Meta, expanding into VR, AI, and biometric data collection. Because once a company controls information, it controls behavior, and nothing is more valuable than that. Jeff Bezos? Amazon doesn't compete with sellers. Jeff Bezos told Congress and the public, Amazon simply provides a platform for third-party sellers to succeed. But leaked internal reports showed something very different. Amazon studied third-party seller data to identify best-selling products, then launched Amazon Basics versions, cheaper, algorithmically prioritized, prominently featured. Small businesses thought Amazon was their partner. Amazon treated them as free product research and development. Sellers who built successful products watched Amazon clone them, undercut their prices, and dominate search results. Some lost everything. Meanwhile, Bezos became the world's richest person, not by inventing products, but by building a marketplace where competitors unknowingly trained the machine that would replace them. In business, access to data isn't just power, it's a weapon. Travis Kalanick, we're just a ride-sharing app. Uber's original pitch sounded harmless, a convenient alternative to traditional taxis using smartphone technology. But internally, the mission was far more aggressive. Destroy the entire taxi industry and dominate urban transportation. Travis Kalanick deployed growth-at-any-cost tactics. Grayball software was used to identify and block city regulators from seeing actual Uber activity. Predatory pricing undercut competitors until they collapsed. Drivers were told they'd be partners with flexibility and good income. But over time, pay systematically decreased, conditions worsened, and promises evaporated. Uber didn't just disrupt transportation. It disrupted labor rights, city regulations, and business ethics. Even after multiple scandals forced Kalanick out as CEO, Uber continued growing globally. Because once a company becomes essential to daily life, accountability becomes optional. If these stories are opening your eyes, hit subscribe. Drop exposed in the comments for part 2. Howard Schultz. We treat workers like family. Starbucks marketed itself as ethical, inclusive, and progressive. Howard Schultz positioned the company as a model workplace that valued partners, not just employees. But when baristas began organizing union efforts for better wages and staffing, the response changed dramatically. Reports documented anti-union tactics, surveillance of organizing workers, forced anti-union meetings, strategic store closures, and retaliation disguised as corporate restructuring. The message became clear: you're valued until you question power structures. Starbucks sold community and warmth in marketing. But behind the counters, workers fought for basic fairness, while corporate deployed sophisticated union-busting strategies. Brand image, cozy, ethical, caring. Reality, standard corporate behavior when profits were threatened. Reed Hastings, password sharing is fine. For years, Netflix's social media joked, "Love is sharing a password." It wasn't just humor, it was deliberate strategy. Password sharing fueled massive global user growth, letting Netflix penetrate markets and demographics they couldn't reach otherwise. But once Netflix hit growth saturation, the narrative completely reversed. Password sharing suddenly became revenue theft. What was encouraged became prohibited. Users weren't angry about new rules. They were angry because Netflix pretended not to care for years until it became financially convenient to care. Sometimes a lie isn't verbal. Sometimes it's a strategic bait and switch that betrays the relationship you built. Tim Sweeney, we're fighting for gamers. Epic Games framed its legal battle against Apple and Google as heroic. We're defending small developers and gamers from unfair monopolies. But financial filings revealed a different motive. Epic wanted to replace the gatekeepers, not eliminate the system. They didn't want lower fees for everyone. They wanted control of the ecosystem for themselves. Gamers became emotional leverage. Public sentiment became a weapon. The lawsuit wasn't just business. It was a loyalty-building campaign wrapped in populist rhetoric. Because nothing builds empire-level trust faster than positioning yourself as the underdog fighting for the people. Elon Musk, full self-driving is coming next year. For nearly a decade, Elon Musk has made the same promise. Full self-driving will be ready next year. Every year, the promise resets. Every year, Tesla sells more vehicles with software still in beta testing. Videos show Tesla vehicles swerving into traffic, stopping randomly, misreading road signs. Crashes occur, investigations open. Yet marketing materials and Musk's tweets suggest complete autonomy is right around the corner, perpetually just out of reach. Is Musk lying or selling a vision so aggressively that reality struggles to keep pace? Investors didn't care. Tesla became one of the most valuable car companies ever, worth more than traditional automakers combined. Because sometimes the dream sells better than the truth. Bill Gates. Windows is open competition. Microsoft marketed itself as fair, competitive, and good for consumers. But internal memos during the antitrust era revealed aggressive suppression of competitors, especially Netscape and smaller software startups. Microsoft didn't just build better products. They built barriers to prevent competition from surviving. Bundling Internet Explorer with Windows, leveraging monopoly power to crush alternatives, using proprietary standards to lock users in. Lawsuits forced some changes, but Microsoft remained one of the most powerful technology companies in history. Because when monopoly becomes the business model, competition becomes the enemy that must be eliminated. Evan Spiegel, no, we don't copy. Snapchat's CEO Evan Spiegel positioned his company as the creative original, the innovator that others copied. Then Instagram Stories launched, functionally identical to Snapchat Stories. Snapchat's user growth immediately froze while Instagram's exploded. Suddenly, Snapchat faced the same copying they accused others of doing. Jack Welch. GE is built on integrity. Jack Welch became a management legend, writing books about building companies on ethical foundations and honest accounting. Behind the scenes, accounting manipulation, inflated valuations, and financial engineering to hit quarterly targets, regardless of actual business performance. Years after his retirement, investigations exposed systematic problems. GE's stock eventually collapsed. Jamie Dimon. We don't need bailouts. JP Morgan Chase. CEO Jamie Dimon positioned his bank as financially superior and not reckless like competitors. Then 2008 arrived. JP Morgan received $25 billion in government bailout funds during the financial crisis. Were they truly better managed or simply better at appearing stable? Rupert Murdoch. Our media is neutral. Rupert Murdoch built a media empire claiming journalistic objectivity and fair reporting. But investigations revealed deliberate agenda setting, political alignment with specific parties, and editorial manipulation to influence elections. Phone hacking scandals and biased coverage showed that neutrality was marketing, not practice. Richard Branson. Virgin will change everything. Richard Branson's personal brand promised revolutionary businesses that would transform industries. The reality? Many Virgin ventures quietly failed. Virgin Cola, Virgin Cars, Virgin Brides. While only successes became part of the public persona, The empire was built on selective storytelling. Masayoshi Son, vision, not gambling. SoftBank's Masayoshi Son called his $100 billion vision fund strategic genius, not reckless betting. Then came WeWork's near collapse, investments in failed startups, and billions lost on speculative ventures. Was it visionary investing or massive gambling dressed up in futuristic language? Jensen Huang. NVIDIA is gamer first. NVIDIA built its brand on serving gaming enthusiasts with cutting-edge graphics cards. But when AI demand exploded, pricing strategies shifted completely to favor corporate customers over the gamers who built the brand. Retail availability vanished, prices skyrocketed. Larry Page and Sergey Brin, don't be evil. Google's founders made "Don't be evil" their famous motto, representing ethical technology that serves users. Over time, that motto was quietly removed as Google faced antitrust investigations, privacy scandals, and accusations of monopolistic behavior. The motto didn't change because Google stayed ethical. It changed because the promise became incompatible with reality. Here's the truth. Most billion-dollar empires aren't built on pure honesty. They're built on confidence, timing, and narratives that people want to believe. A promise doesn't need to be true, it just needs to be believable long enough to secure trust, investment, and market control. Once a company becomes too big to fail, accountability becomes negotiation. Some of these CEOs faced consequences, most didn't. Because in modern capitalism, truth is optional, profit isn't. Want part 2 exposing the lies still happening today? Comment "exposed" below and hit subscribe, because this series is just getting started.